Now, usually when Hollywood turns history into feature films, the reality is embellished with a bit of artistic license. But it seems the blockbuster movie Dunkirk only hit the tip of the iceberg with its depiction of a war hero from Wirral.
Jack Potter was a Spitfire pilot who took on German planes to protect the soldiers below as the beaches were evacuated. And today, a permanent memorial was unveiled in his hometown. Naomi Cornwell reports.
No, shoot!
The Hollywood version of what happened at Dunkirk has been seen by millions of cinema goers around the world, but it surprised one family in particular.
He's down!
The bit where the Spitfire came down in the dogfight and he crashed into the ocean, and I remember leaning across in the dark and looking at my dad and saying, "That's like Grandpa's story, but not as exciting."
Jack Potter was the only Spitfire pilot to have successfully ditched during the Dunkirk evacuation.
Afternoon.
He'd saved hundreds of lives by shooting down German Messerschmitts. Later in the war, he had to ditch in the sea again, lost toes when bullets flew through the cockpit floor, and spent several years in German prisoner of war camps, but survived to see peacetime and lived until the 1970s. Jack's heroism was known in his hometown of Wallasey, but Wirral Council only knew his family now lived in Sussex. Wanting to create a permanent memorial, they enlisted the help of the BBC to track them down.
They want to name a street in their town after your dad.
Blimey.
As a tribute to him.
Really? Gosh.
Today, 30 members of the Potter family, some who travelled from as far away as Australia and Canada, gathered on part of the waterfront at Wallasey, now known as Jack Potter Walk.
He's very modest in his report, just said crashed, picked up a few passengers, and that was it. And then suddenly the story breaks, we find out he's rescued maybe 200 people, and everybody knows about it, so it's become huge, and we're very proud.
Just an amazing story, and we're just delighted that we can do on the Wirral. We can commemorate such an exceptional person.
What do you think your dad would make of it all?
He would be bemused because he was just an ordinary bloke who fought, and lots of people were just like him, didn't get any rewards, didn't die, fortunately for me. But I imagine he would be immensely gratified and proud.
Modest to the last, Jack Potter referred to the 1st of June 1940 as his day out at Dunkirk, but his efforts that day will now be known by many more. Naomi Cornwell, BBC North West Tonight in Wallasey.